I have a question for you. What's your legacy? That's a question I get asked when I'm having conversations with those who are wanting to learn a little bit more about living a legacy life. So they're asking me to share my story. And what I do is I say, that's great, but before I do that, I'm going to ask you the question, thus, what is your legacy? And it helps you to understand a reflective moment and or reflective journaling, whatever it might be, to give you a sense of what are you putting together as an understanding of legacy. Now, I'll put a link down below about what's the definition of legacy, about the useful what's that you gift others so that they can learn from you. So what's your legacy? What's your reflections that you will write down for yourself as you take a look at this term? Now, what's great about this is that you get an opportunity to do a little historical review, your history and your mystery. Where is it you want to go? Where is it that you've come from? But one of the other aspects of this is to give you an opportunity to connect with what a lot of people will share or ask about as well is, what's your life purpose? And one of the things that I have done over time is what is a way to explore life purpose. I understand how to get at legacy. So I dug around, and I said one of the fastest ways is to actually take a look at how is it that you go about educating. And it leans into this phrase, when you listen, you learn, where you share, you educate. So when you're sharing with others, family, friends, at work, wherever it might be, there's an education approach that is evident there. Now, for me, as a point of reference, I always considered myself more of a facilitative mentor. I facilitate conversations to draw ideas, and then through mentoring as I help the mentee answer the questions that they're asking of me. I have now leaned into a little bit more of, well, I'm also a bit of a navigator because I help persons create their legacy map. So I'm using facilitation, mentoring, and navigating. And my life purpose then is I lean into this education approach is that I'm a combination of those. And that gives me an opportunity to say, okay, from a reflection of my life, I'm an educator. I'm doing it in this way. Is that what I want to continue doing? And thus, it gives me a great way to take a look at my legacy from an impact and influence point of view. So in my sharing and what it is that I would like to bring forward for the world with the planet from the whole, then I can start to say, okay, is there an impact here which tends to be through a project, or am I looking at influence through my contributions? Now, that's a way that I'm looking at it. So when I ask you the question, what's your legacy? You can go, okay, what educator approach am I using? Am I looking for impact or influence? Gives you an opportunity to just unpack it for yourself, if that helps you. The other aspect of it is it goes back to that sense of mystery that I used earlier, is that what's your legacy also hints at what it is that you're going to take a look at from the future that you want to bring into the present. And that's when you get into a better understanding of intention. And I'm going to shoot another video on that one. But it gives you that sense of, okay, there's a future orientation for me. I want to bring it into my presence. So am I going to do it through an impact or influence point of view? What educator approaches am I going to use? So that gives me a sense of going, well, what's my legacy? Those are ways in which to unfold it, and therefore you can share it with others. I thought I would give you that as a sense, a starting point. But as you watch the 101 series of frequently asked questions and the videos that I'm shooting on this playlist, there'll be a lot more that you can dig into and do your journaling from there. So with that, always and in all ways, take care.